Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and this was the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. And the show was decent, in my opinion. It was not as good as last year's season premiere, which I was there. It was in Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Of course, you had the DX reunion, and also Gallows and Anderson making their return. But that was such a fun season premiere that I attended last year. But the season premiere this year was decent, but like I said, not as good as the season premiere show last year. But tonight on Monday Night Raw, we had Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ricochet in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Piper Niven was in action, and she had taken on Natalya. Johnny Gargano was also in action, and he had taken on Ludwig Kaiser. We had Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler. The Intercontinental Championship was on the line, where Gunther defended the title against Bronson Reed. And in the main event, the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship was on the line. J Uso and Cody Rhodes defended the titles against Balor and Damian Priest. Overall, Monday Night Raw for its season premiere, it was a decent show. But before I get into the review, if you guys haven't checked out my previous videos, I did my New York Comic Con vlogs of all 4 days that I attended. So check out my vlog from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and also yesterday. You know, if you guys haven't seen them, you know, a lot of good cosplays from people those 4 days of New York Comic Con. So check out all 4 of my vlogs, you know, if you guys haven't seen them. But had so much fun at New York Comic Con. Can't believe those 4 days flew by, you know, very fast. But, you know, hopefully get to attend next year again, so we'll see. But anyways, let's jump right into the review. Monday Night Raw opened up tonight with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn ended up making his way down to the ring. He was wearing Kevin Owens' shirt, and of course Kevin Owens on Smackdown on Friday, he was traded to Smackdown, and Nick Aldis is the new Smackdown general manager, so we're getting the general manager roles again. We have Adan Pierce being the general manager for Monday Night Raw, and Nick Aldis being the general manager of SmackDown. To which, you know, I did watch SmackDown. I did not review it, but I thought SmackDown was a decent show, in my opinion. Now, I did watch Rampage, which Rampage was just very meh, in my opinion. I'm like thinking about not reviewing Rampage, just dropping it, and just reviewing SmackDown. So, but like I said, Sami Zayn made his way out wearing a Kevin Owens shirt, and they showed a recap of, you know, Nick Aldis being the SmackDown general manager, and he announced that Kevin Owens was traded to SmackDown. Which, when I saw Kevin Owens being traded to SmackDown, you know, that announcement, I thought to myself, oh, that is such a bad move there, you know, because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are, you know, a team, and they just split them up, you know, like that. But thinking about it, I'm like, all right, this is good, because we don't want to do the typical, Sami Zayn turns on Kevin Owens, or Kevin Owens turns on Sami Zayn, you know, situation. But, you know, Kevin Owens is going to bring, you know, good to SmackDown. Can't wait to see what Kevin Owens does on, you know, SmackDown. So Sami Zayn got on the mic, and the crowd there in Oklahoma City were chanting Sami. Sami ended up saying, "Welcome to the season premiere of Monday Night Raw." He ended up going on to say that it feels weird to be out here by himself. He ended up saying, as most of you know by now, his tag team partner and brother, Kevin Owens, has been moved to SmackDown. And he ended up saying, with Kevin Owens moved to SmackDown, he's had a lot of mixed emotions. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he's obviously sad that their partnership has come to an end this way, but he's also excited for Kevin Owens. He ended up saying that Kevin Owens is going to do huge things on SmackDown. And Sami Zayn ended up saying that he is excited for himself and that he can now stand on his own 2 feet and show the world what he's known about himself for years and years. He ended up saying that he is a World Heavyweight Championship caliber superstar. So the crowd started chanting for Sami again. Sami then thanked the crowd for chanting for him. He ended up saying that it makes him feel good. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he also has to address the elephant in the room, which is the reason Kevin Owens is not on Monday Night Raw anymore. And that's because of the arrival of J Uso. So Sami Zayn ended up saying that nobody was happier than him that Jay came to the show, but he's struggling with it now. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he's also struggling with the fact that him and Kevin Owens went through the highest of highs to main event WrestleMania. He then ended up saying that after all that work, it was taken away by the Judgment Day. So Sami ended up saying that tonight, the Judgment Day are the ones getting the opportunity for the Undisputed WWE Tag Team titles. So Sami Zayn ended up saying that he has no idea what's next, and that the last year of his career has by far been the best year of his career. Which I agree with Sami on there. It's been, the best year of Sami's career. So he ended up saying that the reason that he reached the highs that he did is because of the people. So then he got interrupted by the Judgment Day. So Balor, Priest, Rhea Ripley, and Dominic Mysterio made their way down. Balor got on the mic. He ended up saying that nobody should be kicking off the season premiere of Monday Night Raw but the Judgment Day. Balor then ended up laughing at the fact that Sami Zayn is now all alone. Priest then ended up saying that it feels like they've had these thorns in their sides forever, but one has been removed. He ended up saying that the only thing that would make the Judgment Day even happier is removing Sami Zayn and removing the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Idiots and Drew McIntyre. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that they'll talk about that later because Priest was starting to shout something in Spanish, but Rhea Ripley ended up stopping him. So Dominic then got on the mic. He ended up saying tonight, Mami will tear Shayna Baszler apart and put the whole women's division back on notice. So the crowd ended up booing at that. Of course, we had the piped-in boos for Dominic Mysterio, which sounds awful each and every single week. So Rhea Ripley ended up saying that is correct. And she ended up saying as for Balor and Priest, they're going to bring the Tag Team Championships back to the Judgment Day. So she ended up saying before they do that, she happened to notice something about Sami Zayn. She ended up saying that Sami Zayn is looking kind of lost. And she ended up saying back in the day, the Judgment Day would have recruited the loss, like they tried to do with J Uso. She ended up saying when it comes to Sami Zayn, they have a different plan, and that they want to get rid of Sami Zayn permanently. So the Judgment Day started to circle the ring. Sami Zayn was preparing to fight the Judgment Day, and we had J Uso Jey Uso ended up running down. He ended up holding 2 steel chairs. Jey got into the ring, handed a steel chair to Sami Zayn, and they were preparing to fight off the Judgment Day. Balor then waved Priest and Dominic and Rhea Ripley off, and the Judgment Day ended up slowly, walking off, to which the crowd ended up booing at that. Sami Zayn looked a little uncertain as he ended up looking up at Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn walked off. Jey looked all confused, and that was how the segment ended. But overall, I thought this was a good opening to Monday Night Raw here, and it's intriguing here with Sami Zayn and his friendship with Jey Uso. So I'm intrigued on where this will go with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. But good opening to Monday Night Raw here. So then we saw Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura was shown in a video speaking in Japanese. He ended up saying that Ricochet moves like a fly, but it'll squash him on the dirty floor like a bug. So pretty much that was basically what Nakamura, had to say. And then we saw Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was walking backstage as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial. Jey Uso caught up with him. Sami Zayn ended up telling Jey that he needs some space, to which Jey then ended up asking Sami if they're good. Sami then ended up saying that he wants them to be good, and that he wants to be happy for Jey, and nothing else. Sami Zayn ended up appreciating Jey having his back, but he couldn't help but think that it should have been Kevin Owens out there. And he ended up saying that Kevin Owens isn't here because of Jey. Sami Zayn ended up saying that Jey has everything going for him right now with Cody Rhodes and the titles. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he used to have his friend and the titles, but now he doesn't because of Jey. Jey then ended up saying that Sami Zayn still has him, but it is what it is, Oos. So Jey walked off. Sami Zayn started flipping out, and he then chased after Jey. Sami Zayn ended up telling Jey to forget about what he said. Sami Zayn then apologized to Jey, and he ended up saying to Jey that it's been a tough week. He ended up saying that he is happy for Jey and everything he has. Sami then extended his hand, and he ended up asking Jey if they're good. Jey looked at Sami Zayn, and then he ended up saying, "Yet." And he ended up hugging Sami Zayn. So that was basically that. And then we had the first match of the night. Falls Count Anywhere match, Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Very good match this was. Really enjoyed it. It was very entertaining. Match ended up starting with Ricochet blindsiding Nakamura, knocked him out of the ring. Ricochet then ended up attacking Nakamura at ringside and got Nakamura into the ring. Nakamura then attacked Ricochet again in the ring. He laid him across the top turnbuckle. He ended up kneeing Ricochet in his midsection. Nakamura then ended up hitting the inverted exploder suplex to Ricochet, to which he ended up going for the cover. Ricochet kicked out. Ricochet then ended up kicking back at Nakamura. He ended up going for the cover, and Nakamura kicked out. Nakamura then rolled to the apron to recover, but Ricochet hit a springboard drop kick to knock Nakamura out to the floor. Ricochet then ended up sizing Nakamura up. He had pinned the ropes for a Fosby flop to Nakamura. He ended up going for the cover, and Nakamura ended up kicking out. Nakamura then started to retreat up the ramp, but Ricochet ended up attacking Nakamura from behind. Nakamura fought back. He ended up whipping Ricochet into the LED wall. And Nakamura pulled Ricochet backstage toward gorilla position. But Ricochet ended up fighting back. So both Nakamura and Ricochet fought into the gorilla position. Nakamura ended up knocking Ricochet back and threw the referee in the way. Ricochet then rolled off the referee, ended up hitting a knee to Nakamura's chin. He ended up going for the cover, to which Nakamura kicked out. Ricochet then knocked Nakamura back through the curtain and onto the stage. Nakamura then ended up whipping Ricochet into the LED wall, but Ricochet ended up scaling the wall, and he backflipped to his feet, which was great. I like that spot there where Ricochet just scaled the LED wall on the stage and then just backflipped onto his feet. So Ricochet ended up taking Nakamura down. He ended up going for a standing moonsault, but Nakamura got his knees up. Nakamura ended up pulling Ricochet up, but Ricochet ended up taking Nakamura down with a dragon screw. Ricochet then ended up hitting a stand shooting star press on the stage to Nakamura, which was great. So then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Ricochet and Nakamura were shown in the crowd. Ricochet climbed to the top of one of the entrance tunnels in the arena. Ricochet then ended up hitting a shooting star press off the top of the entrance tunnel onto Nakamura and some security over there, and it was fantastic. Just a great shooting star press off the top of the entrance tunnel. Great spot there. Nakamura started rolling down the steps, and on the replay of that shooting star press that Ricochet hit off the entrance tunnel, some very good camera angles for that spot there. So Ricochet was on his feet. He started chasing after Nakamura. He knocked Nakamura all the way down the steps. Nakamura then ended up throwing a bucket of popcorn into Ricochet's face, and he put Ricochet on the barricade. Nakamura ended up kicking Ricochet off the barricade and back to ringside. He then whipped Ricochet sternum first into the barricade. Nakamura ended up going under the ring, and he ended up retrieving a table, which of course got a huge ovation for the crowd because the crowd loves when tables are being used. So Nakamura then ended up grabbing a pair of nunchucks. Nakamura started twirling the nunchucks around. He ended up beating Ricochet down with the nunchucks. Nakamura set up the folding table, and then he ended up clearing off the commentary table. Ricochet then ended up attacking Nakamura and laid him on the table. Ricochet ended up pulling himself to the apron. He went to the top rope. Nakamura slid off the table and climbed to the apron. Ricochet ended up getting off the top rope, so Nakamura ended up snapping Ricochet off. Nakamura ended up going to suplex Ricochet out of the ring through the table, but Ricochet started fighting it. So Nakamura connected with the go to sleep, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Ricochet ended up kicking out. So Nakamura still using the go to sleep. Of course, CM Punk's finisher. Is that a clue there? So Nakamura ended up going for a Kinshasa, but Ricochet ended up hitting a backflip drop kick to Nakamura, which was followed by Enziguri. Nakamura stumbled to the corner, and Ricochet ended up charging at Nakamura, but Nakamura ended up dropping Ricochet on the apron. Ricochet ended up kicking Nakamura down, ended up hitting a springboard 450 to Nakamura. He ended up going for the cover, and Nakamura kicked out. So Ricochet headed back to the top rope. Nakamura cut him off. Nakamura started climbing to the top, but Ricochet started punching Nakamura down. Nakamura started climbing back. Ricochet ended up knocking Nakamura out of the ring. Nakamura ended up quickly getting back on the apron. So Ricochet started fighting him. Nakamura kicked Ricochet in the head and knocked Ricochet off the top rope, and Ricochet went through the table at ringside. So Nakamura connected with the Kinshasa at ringside. He ended up going for the cover on Ricochet. And there you go. Shinsuke Nakamura ended up winning the match. Overall, very good match this was. It was a very entertaining match. The crowd was into it. And we had Ricochet end up making Nakamura look good here. So, but very good false count anywhere match it was. And then we saw Tegan Nox. Tegan Nox was backstage with Katana Chance, Kaden Carter, and Nikki Cross. Well, finally we got Nikki Cross on TV. So we had Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, the Women's Tag Team Champions. They walked up to them. Chelsea Green started making fun of Tegan Nox, and Tegan Nox ended up saying that she's not going to back down to Chelsea and will slap her. So Chelsea looked a little scared. She walked off, and that was basically that. And then we had Piper Niven versus Natalya. Boring match this was. Absolutely boring. So we had Piper Niven end up taking Natalya down. They locked up. Piper Niven ended up powering Natalya to the corner, and she ended up shoving her. Natalya ended up slapping Piper Niven in the face. Natalya then ducked the clothesline and started punching Piper Niven. Natalya then hit the ropes, but Piper Niven ended up catching Natalya. Natalya ended up sliding out. She ended up hitting a head scissor into the corner. She ended up rolling Piper Niven up, to which Piper Niven ended up kicking out at 2. And they started trading roll-ups, which got 2 counts. So later on, we had Chelsea Green end up getting involved. She ended up getting on the apron. Piper Niven ended up kicking Natalya off and into Chelsea Green because Natalya was going for the sharpshooter to Piper Niven, which that led to Piper Niven kicking Natalya off and knocking Chelsea Green off the apron. Piper Niven took Natalya down, ended up hitting a basement crossbody. So she ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Piper Niven ended up winning the match. Post-match, Chelsea Green and Piper Niven stood over Natalya. Natalya tried to fight both Chelsea Green and Piper Niven off, but they ended up double teaming on her. Tegan Nox ran down for the save. She ended up knocking Chelsea Green out of the ring. And then Tegan Nox went after Piper Niven. Natalya then joined in on being down Piper Niven. Tegan Nox and Natalya end up whipping Piper Niven to the ropes, but Piper Niven held on and pulled herself out to retreat. And that was that. Overall, boring match this was. Very clunky spots here in the match. But, I mean, did you all care about this? I didn't. And then we saw Damian Priest. Damian Priest was talking with Finn Balor backstage. Priest ended up saying that he wanted to see JD McDonough get beat up last week, but he felt bad about what Drew McIntyre did to him. He ended up saying that the Judgment Day needs to make a statement and take out McIntyre. Dominic then got up from the couch. He ended up saying that Mommy said no one is touching McIntyre tonight. So Rhea Ripley walked in. She ended up saying that she's been handling Judgment Day business. Dominic ended up asking if she needs him at ringside, but Rhea Ripley ended up saying that it is handled. She ended up saying that Balor and Priest will win the tag team titles, and she'll remind the women's division why Mommy is always on top, and that they'll show Raw why they run the show. So pretty much that was basically that. And then we had Sing Along Time with Seth Rollins making his way out. So Seth Rollins ended up getting on the mic. He ended up welcoming Oklahoma City to the season premiere of Monday Night Rollins. He ended up saying that they had a hell of a season finale last week, and they got a new number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship in Drew McIntyre. Rollins sarcastically ended up saying that McIntyre is one hell of a guy. He ended up saying that McIntyre challenged him to his face and said he wanted him at 100%. He ended up saying then he got jumped by Damian Priest and McIntyre didn't do a damn thing. So Rollins ended up saying that confused him. He ended up saying then Dominic ended up coming flying out with the Money in the Bank contract. And all of a sudden, McIntyre is his white knight. So Rollins ended up saying that he has a lot of questions, and only McIntyre can answer them. So Rollins then called out McIntyre to come to the ring. So Drew McIntyre made his way out. He got into the ring. McIntyre ended up saying that he wanted Rollins at as close to 100% as possible. He ended up saying that Rollins should not stand alone waiting to get jumped. McIntyre ended up saying that he isn't going to babysit him. So Rollins ended up saying that he can handle his business on his own. He ended up saying, can McIntyre handle his own business, or he has his enlisted a little help? So McIntyre ended up telling Rollins to just say what is on his mind. So Rollins ended up saying that he has footage of Adan Pierce and Ricochet talking backstage last week. And in the background was Drew McIntyre talking with Rhea Ripley. So he saw that last week. So Rollins ended up asking McIntyre if he cares to elaborate as to what that was about. So McIntyre ended up saying that he's not a thirsty creep like Jey Uso. He ended up saying that Rhea Ripley came to him, and that it's none of Rollins' business. He ended up saying that Rollins shouldn't worry about the Judgment Day, and should worry about him taking his World Heavyweight Championship. Rollins then sarcastically thanked McIntyre for clearing that up. He ended up saying that nobody is taking the World Heavyweight Championship off of him, especially McIntyre. He ended up saying that the last few years must have messed with McIntyre's head, and that McIntyre has had a lot of big matches, and just when he needed success, he had big failures. He ended up saying just because he's failed, he's enlisted the help of the Judgment Day. So Rollins ended up saying that dealing with the Judgment Day is a slippery slope that McIntyre doesn't want to go down. McIntyre then ended up saying that Rollins sounds nervous because the last time they had a World Heavyweight Championship match, he ended up beating Rollins. So McIntyre ended up saying that his losses have been caused by Mist and the Bloodline. But Rollins ended up telling him to forget about the Bloodline, and that the Bloodline has forgotten about him. So Rollins told McIntyre to get over it. McIntyre then got in Rollins' face, and he asked him, get over it? He ended up saying that Rollins likes being World Heavyweight Champion, and having everyone sing his theme. To which everyone was going, whoa. So McIntyre ended up saying that's a crutch. He ended up saying when he achieved that dream and beat Brock Lesnar in the main event of WrestleMania, there was no one there, and that the company was in trouble with a worldwide pandemic. And McIntyre ended up saying that he stepped up, and that he had a chance to achieve that dream in a bigger way. But the Bloodline cost him that dream. And he ended up saying that Rollins needs to remember that the third time will be the charm, and that he has taken the World Heavyweight Championship at Crown Jewel. Rollins then ended up saying that no one understands what McIntyre is going through better than him. He ended up saying that he knows how difficult it is to get back to the top of the mountain. Rollins ended up saying that he spent 4 years doing it, and all he's hearing from McIntyre is a bunch of excuses. He ended up saying that McIntyre is pointing fingers and making excuses, and that won't get him where he wants to go. Rollins then ended up saying that he will beat McIntyre at Crown Jewel, and it will be the best thing that ever happened to McIntyre. He ended up saying for the first time in a long time, he'll have no one to blame but himself. Rollins then walked off, and McIntyre looked into the distance reflectively. And that was how the segment ended. But overall, very excellent in-ring segment here with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. They nailed it on the mic, the both of them. And, really looking forward to the match at Crown Jewel. Should be a good match. And little by little, we're going to be seeing, Drew McIntyre turn heel. It's just little steps into getting him there, into seeing McIntyre turn heel, which he needs a heel turn, in my opinion. And then we add Ludwig Kaiser versus Johnny Gargano. And this was a decent match here. Ludwig Kaiser made his way out to the ring. He was accompanied by Giovanni Vinci. And so then Johnny Gargano ended up making his way out. So Johnny Gargano was irate with what happened last week during the interview with Wade Barrett, where Wade Barrett was interviewing Gargano and Ciampa, and then Kaiser and Vinci end up attacking the both of them. So the match ended up starting. Gargano quickly ended up taking Kaiser down, started punching away at Kaiser. Gargano knocked Kaiser out of the ring with a head scissors takeover and hit a suicide dive. Kaiser got into the ring, and Gargano ended up following. Gargano hit the ropes, but Kaiser ended up kicking Gargano in his knee. Kaiser ended up quickly sending Gargano shoulder first into the ring post and drop kicked Gargano. Gargano started punching back. He ended up twisting Kaiser around the ropes. Gargano ended up shouldering Kaiser, and he ended up going for a slingshot, but Kaiser ended up uppercutting Gargano down on the apron. Kaiser then clotheslined Gargano on the apron, and he ended up standing Gargano up. Kaiser then hit the ropes, ended up hitting a running uppercut to knock Gargano off the apron and into the barricade. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Kaiser ended up applying a Cobra Clutch to Gargano. Gargano ended up fighting up. He ended up whipping Kaiser face first into the middle turnbuckle. Gargano then rolled Kaiser up and kicked him in the head. Gargano then ended up hitting a run chop in the corner. Gargano tried to hit a run chop in the corner again to Kaiser, but Kaiser ended up sending Gargano into the apron. Kaiser then ended up charging, but Gargano ended up whipping Kaiser out with a slingshot spear. Gargano came off the ropes with a diving flatliner to Kaiser, to which he ended up going for the cover. Kaiser kicked out. Kaiser started chopping Gargano into the corner, but Gargano ended up chopping Kaiser back. Gargano then connected with a sunset flip powerbomb, to which he ended up going for the cover, to which Kaiser ended up kicking out. So later on in the match, we had Kaiser on the apron, and Gargano ended up hitting Tommaso Ciampa's Willow's Bell. And Gargano followed up with the one final beat, but he ended up going for the cover, and Giovanni Vinci ended up poking him in the eye. He ended up poking Gargano in the eye to break up the pin. So Gargano was irate. Gargano left the ring. He started beating down on Giovanni Vinci on the outside. Gargano ended up bouncing Vinci off the commentary table. Vinci got into the ring, and Gargano ended up following, to which that led to Kaiser delivering an enziguri to Gargano, and then Kaiser followed that up with a swinging DDT. He ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Ludwig Kaiser ended up winning the match. Overall, decent match between Ludwig Kaiser and Johnny Gargano. And, Johnny Gargano, he's back, for 2 weeks, and he loses a match already to Ludwig Kaiser. I mean, can you believe that? And I also saw Becky Lynch, the NXT Women's Champion. She was walking backstage, and Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae walked up to Becky. Indy Hartwell ended up telling Becky that she never lost the NXT Women's Championship. She ended up saying that if Becky is given title shots to anyone, she should give one to the person who never lost the NXT Women's Championship. And that's true. Indy Hartwell did not lose the NXT Women's Championship. She had to give it up. So Becky Lynch ended up agreeing. She ended up saying that she will talk to Adan Pierce. Becky Lynch then turned around and she was facing Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley just looked at Becky Lynch and walked away. And that was basically that. And then we saw Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was walking backstage and he ended up finding Sami Zayn. McIntyre ended up respecting that Sami Zayn diffused the situation between him and Jey Uso last week. McIntyre ended up saying that he was apprehensive of Sami Zayn after leaving the bloodline, but he respects him as a leader around here. So Sami Zayn was happy about that. McIntyre ended up saying that he still has more to say to Sami. McIntyre ended up saying that he doesn't like that Sami Zayn immediately forgave Jey Uso. Sami ended up saying that they won't see eye to eye on this, and that McIntyre truly does need to put the bloodline behind him. He ended up saying that Jey has done everything he can to make everyone believe him. McIntyre ended up saying that he's the only one that doesn't buy it. Sami Zayn ended up saying that from one person to another, putting the bloodline behind you can be hard. Sami Zayn ended up saying that he can relate. McIntyre ended up saying that a lot of people are relating to him, but Sami Zayn can't relate to him because he's never been a world champion. So he ended up saying the way Sami Zayn is going with his happy-go-lucky attitude, he'll never be a world champion. Sami Zayn ended up saying that if there's any doubt about where his mind is, McIntyre can find out in the ring next week. So McIntyre ended up saying that he'll never back down from a fight, and that we'll see Sami next week. So there you go. We're going to be seeing Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre next week on Monday Night Raw. Should be a good match next week between the both of them. And then we add Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley ended up making her way out. We saw replays from last week where Rhea Ripley ended up attacking Raquel Rodriguez, Smiley Raquel, and Nia Jax during their match last week on Monday Night Raw, to which Shayna Baszler then got in Rhea Ripley's face, and Shayna Baszler ended up taking Rhea Ripley out with a snap German suplex, and Shayna Baszler delivered a knee to Rhea Ripley's face, so we saw, a replay of that. So then Rhea Ripley got on the mic. She ended up saying that everyone wants a part of Monday Night Mommy. She ended up saying even Nia Jax came back to try to get rid of her, but it didn't work. She ended up saying that in her absence, the women's division tried to prove how tough they were. She ended up saying that she had Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, and Shayna Baszler trying to prove they're the best woman in WWE. But the reality is, this is her division. She ended up saying that Mommy will always be on top. So then Shayna Baszler made her way out. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, the match got underway. Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler. And it was solid, in my opinion. It wasn't great or perfect by any means. But Shayna Baszler ended up quickly going for a waistlock to Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley ended up getting out of that. She ended up hitting a waistlock on Shayna Baszler. Baszler rolled through and applied an ankle lock on Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley ended up rolling over and kicked Shayna Baszler into the corner. Rhea Ripley ended up hitting a run shoulder, started punching away at Baszler. Baszler ended up pushing Ripley off. She ended up spiking Ripley on her shoulder with a takedown. Baszler then ended up kicking Rhea Ripley's elbow. So Rhea Ripley was furious. Baszler ended up kicking Rhea Ripley again. Ripley then ended up avoiding a kick from Baszler, and she ended up hitting a low drop kick, to which she ended up going for the cover, and Baszler ended up kicking out. Ripley then ended up getting up, clutching her elbow. Baszler ended up taking Ripley down with some jabs. She ended up going for a knee, but Rhea Ripley moved out of the way. Rhea Ripley then ended up attacking Shayna Baszler and ended up hitting a clothesline. Rhea Ripley ended up catching Baszler in the electric chair, but Baszler ended up sliding off. Rhea Ripley then elbowed out of a German suplex attempt from Baszler, and she pinned a vicious back elbow to Baszler's jaw. So Baszler then ended up hitting a German suplex to Ripley, which was followed up by a big knee to Ripley's jaw. So Baszler ended up going for the cover, to which Rhea Ripley ended up kicking out. So Rhea Ripley ended up going for Riptide, but Baszler ended up countering that into a cross arm breaker attempt. Rhea Ripley ended up fighting out of that. She ended up powering Baszler up for a powerbomb. And all of a sudden, we see Nia Jax making her way down to the ring. And then Smiley Raquel Rodriguez, ended up pulling Nia Jax away. Nia Jax ended up headbutting Raquel down. And Nia Jax ended up turning around, and she turned to a cannonball off the barricade that was delivered from Zoe Stark. So Raquel ended up quickly sending Zoe Stark into the barricade. Raquel ended up booting Nia Jax back, knocking her into the ring steps. Raquel ended up charging at Nia Jax. Nia Jax moved out of the way, and Raquel ended up hitting the ring steps hard. So Zoe Stark was in the ring. Zoe Stark ended up attacking Rhea Ripley, which led to the ref calling for the bell. So post-match, Rhea Ripley ended up grabbing Zoe Stark, threw her into Shayna Baszler. Rhea Ripley then challenged Nia Jax to get into the ring. Nia Jax obliged, and Rhea Ripley ended up ducking a clothesline from Zoe Stark. And Zoe Stark ended up punching Nia Jax. Rhea Ripley and Zoe Stark ended up going back and forth, striking Nia Jax. Rhea Ripley ended up going for a scoop slam on Nia Jax, but Zoe Stark ended up drop kicking Nia Jax to knock her onto Rhea Ripley, squashing Rhea Ripley. So Zoe Stark then super kicked Nia Jax out of the ring, and that was basically that. Overall, solid match it was, but wasn't great or perfect by any means. And then we had Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was backstage with Adan Pierce. So Pierce ended up making the match with Indy Hartwell next week. He just had to get, Shawn Michaels' approval. But you all know the match is going to take place anyway. So then Xia Li walked up to Becky Lynch. She kept asking when she'll get a chance. So Becky Lynch ended up saying that Xia Li can have one. Xia Li ended up saying that it will be on her time. So she ended up walking off, and then Becky walked into Jade Cargill. So Becky Lynch ended up telling Jade Cargill to get in line, and she ended up walking off. So Jade Cargill ended up scoffing. She ended up saying that she's funny. She ended up saying that Becky is funny. And Adan Pierce welcomed Jade Cargill to Monday Night Raw. So that was basically that. But on SmackDown, they were teasing something, with Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair. So, then we got here, Jade Cargill, eyeing Becky Lynch. So, but Jade Cargill, on SmackDown, she made an appearance and she was face to face with Charlotte. And tonight she was face to face with Becky. And I'm like, what are they going to do first with Jade Cargill? Are we going to get Charlotte or are we going to get Becky? So, Jade Cargill, if they do Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair, I think Jade Cargill will be the one to, defeat Charlotte. So, but who knows? And then we saw Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond was backstage with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. Jackie Redmond ended up asking Jay what happened with Sami Zayn earlier in the night. Jay ended up saying that Sami is going through some stuff, but he's got Sami's back always. Cody ended up asking if Jackie Redmond is feeling him. He ended up saying tonight is the season premiere. He ended up saying that Nakamura and Ricochet tore themselves up, and people are maximizing their opportunities. He ended up saying that Raw has a bright future, and one faction is not going to darken the entire show. So Jay ended up saying, yet. And so both him and Cody end up walking off, and that was that. And then we had the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Gunther defended the title against Bronson Reed. Very good match this was. Very entertaining. The crowd also was into it. So the match going the way, we had Bronson Reed and Gunther end up blocking up. They end up tussling around ropes. Gunther ended up backing away. He ended up viciously forearming Bronson Reed in his chest. Gunther ended up applying a side headlock, where Bronson Reed ended up whipping Gunther off, and he ended up delivering a shoulder tackle. So Reed tried to do a shoulder tackle, but Gunther ended up absorbing the shoulder tackle and responded with two big boots to Bronson Reed. Reed didn't go down, so it did nothing to Bronson Reed. Gunther ended up viciously chopping Bronson Reed in the corner, but Bronson Reed was on his feet still. Gunther ended up chopping Reed again, and Reed's legs were getting a little wobbly. Gunther ended up hitting the ropes, but Reed ended up avalanching Gunther down in the center of the ring. So Reed then avalanched Gunther in the corner. Gunther then rolled out of the ring to recover. Reed then came off the apron with a flying shoulder tackle, and Gunther ended up chopping Bronson Reed out of midair, which was crazy. Gunther then ended up driving Reed into the apron. He ended up chopping Reed's chest. Gunther then ended up powering Bronson Reed into the ring. He ended up setting up for a powerbomb. Gunther ended up starting to lift Reed up, but Gunther couldn't get Reed up. So Gunther started clubbing Reed's back. He started wrenching Reed's arm. Reed fought back. So Gunther ended up going for a sleeper hold to Reed. Reed ended up powering him hard into the corner. He ended up powering Gunther into the corner. Gunther ended up chopping Reed's back and applied a sleeper hold again. Reed ended up fighting out of that. He lifted Gunther up. Gunther then elbowed out and put Reed back in the sleeper hold. Reed ended up powering Gunther up, and he ended up pinning a senton to Gunther. So Reed ended up going to the top rope, but Gunther ended up chopping his chest. Reed then fell to the apron. Gunther ended up trying to go for a powerbomb on the apron, but Reed ended up fighting it, and he ended up pinning a back body drop on the apron to Gunther. Reed then ended up pinning a flying shoulder tackle off the apron, which was cool. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had Reed and Gunther end up laying some blows to each other. We had Reed end up blocking a chop from Gunther. He ended up headbutting him. Gunther ended up hitting the ropes, ended up laying a lariat to Reed, but Reed ended up staying up. Gunther ended up trying again to go for a lariat, but Reed ended up quickly booting Gunther back, ended up hitting a snap power slam, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Gunther ended up kicking out. Reed then ended up setting up for a powerbomb, but Gunther ended up landing on his feet, started chopping away at Reed's chest. We had a point where Reed ended up standing on the top rope, and he connected with a massive superplex off the top to Gunther. So Reed ended up rolling over. He ended up going for the cover on Gunther, and Gunther kicked out. Reed then ended up heading to the top rope. He ended up going for a tsunami, but Gunther moved out of the way. Gunther then connected with a drop kick to Reed. He ended up following up with a clothesline. Gunther ended up going to the top rope. He flied off the top with a splash onto Reed. He ended up going for the cover, to which Reed ended up kicking out. Gunther then ended up setting Reed up. He ended up pinning a powerbomb on Reed. So Gunther ended up going for the cover. So there you go. Gunther ended up winning the match, retaining the Intercontinental Championship. Overall, Very good match it was. Very physical match here between Gunther and Bronson Reed here. It's heel versus heel, but the crowd was really into it. So, after, Gunther left the ring, his face showed that, he was just in a war with Bronson Reed in this match. So, but very good match it was. So Jackie Redmond was now backstage. She was with The Miz. Miz looked confused that Jackie Redmond announced him as a self-proclaimed must-see superstar. Miz was upset that he was relegated to the third hour of the show. He kept saying this is the face he wanted leading off the season premiere, not the Sami Zayn pity party. He kept saying that Nick Aldis should take over. So Nia Jax walked up. She took the mic from Jackie Redmond, and Nia Jax looked at the camera. She kept saying that everyone has hit her with their best shot, but she's still standing and looking pretty. She kept saying that she hasn't hit anyone with her best shot yet. And she kept saying when she does, they won't get up. She kept saying on Monday Night Raw, she does the squashing. So Nia Jax walked off. Miz tried to continue the interview, but Jackie Redmond ended up saying to The Miz, we're out of time. So that was that. Miz looked all shocked. He was like, and that was that. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Adan Pierce. Adan Pierce was on the phone, and he sounded like he's happy with the business they just conducted. So Rhea Ripley ended up coming in. And Rhea Ripley ended up saying to Adan Pierce that she is upset that her match was interrupted. Pierce ended up saying that this is a new season, and she's not just going to come in here demanding things. Of course, referring to Rhea Ripley. Pierce ended up saying that if Rhea Ripley wants to control the women's division and make a statement, she'll do it his way. So Adan Pierce ended up telling Rhea Ripley that at Crown Jewel, she'll defend the Women's Championship against Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Raquel Rodriguez, Smiley Raquel, in a fatal 5-way match. So Rhea Ripley was furious at this news. She was like, oh, are you kidding? And she kept saying to Adan Pierce that she will eradicate them. And then she ended up walking off. And so then we saw Jinder Mahal walking in with Indus Sher. So Jinder Mahal ended up saying to Adan Pierce that they need to talk. To which Adan Pierce ended up agreeing. And that was that. And then we saw Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree was doing Pilates, and she was leading Otis into it. Akira Tozawa was in the background. He was lifting small weights. He was in a singlet. Chad Gable then ended up blowing a whistle, and he had Otis chop him. So Otis chopped Chad Gable, and Chad Gable was like, oh, this is for Gunther. Chad Gable ended up saying that he will take the Intercontinental Championship, and then him and Otis will be coming for the tag team titles. So the New Day walked in, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. And they ended up saying that if they're talking about going for the tag team titles, they have to go through them. So Chad Gable ended up shushing the New Day, ended up saying that they'll face the New Day for the first time next week. So then they end up admiring Akira Tozawa's hip swiveling. So that was that. So again, New Day versus the Alpha Academy next week. So saying that next week on Raw, it will be Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Becky Lynch will face Indy Hartwell for the NXT Women's Championship. And Logan Paul will also appear on Monday Night Raw next week. God help us all. So that's all announced for Monday Night Raw next week. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we saw Gunther. Gunther was walking backstage. Vinci and Kaiser end up coming up to Gunther, clapped for him. Gunther ended up saying that Ludwig Kaiser did his job, and that Vinci didn't. Vinci then excused himself. He ended up saying that he helped Kaiser win the match. Gunther ended up telling Kaiser that he saw Johnny Gargano walking around backstage. He ended up saying after Vinci's match next week, he wants Gargano stretchered out. So Gunther ended up saying that it will be Kaiser's responsibilities to see that it happens. So Gunther walked off. As Kaiser looked at Vinci, he ended up saying, no pressure. So that was that. So Gunther ends up wanting to see Gargano being stretched out of the arena. That was that. Main event. The Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship on the line. Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes defend the titles against Balor and Damian Priest. And this was a decent match here. We had the match start off with Balor and Cody. Both guys ended up blocking up. Cody ended up countering a leapfrog. He then ended up hitting a torture rack backbreaker to Balor. Jey Uso tagged in. He came off the ropes with a diving axe handle to Balor's arm. Damian Priest then blind tagged in. Jey hit the ropes, but Priest ended up pulling the top rope down to get Jey out of the ring. Priest ended up uppercutting Jey at ringside, and he ended up getting Jey in the ring. Priest got into the ring. He ended up kicking Jey in his chest. Priest then rocked Jey with an uppercut. Priest then avalanched Jey in the corner, ended up hitting a snapmare. Balor ended up tagging in. He ended up hitting a slingshot stomp to Jey. So Priest ended up tagging in. Balor then ended up hitting a backbreaker, and Priest followed up with a leg drop. And we had Priest end up punching away at Jey. Jey ended up ducking a strike and hit an enziguri. Cody then ended up tagging in, started punching away at Priest. So Cody ended up hitting the ropes. He slided through the legs, ended up hitting two drop-down uppercuts to Priest. Cody then slingshotted over Priest, ended up hitting a snap power slam. Balor then ended up running in, but Cody ended up giving Balor a snap power slam. Cody then ended up hitting Priest with a disaster kick, to which Cody ended up going for the cover, and Priest ended up kicking out. So then Dominic Mysterio ended up running down, and Cody ended up scaring Dominic away. Cody ended up sidestepping an avalanche. He ended up going for a crossroads. Balor then ended up grabbing Cody for 1916 to break it up, but Jey ended up super kicking Balor. Cody then ended up hitting Priest with crossroads, and he ended up going for the cover, to which Dominic ended up putting Priest's foot on the bottom rope to break up the pin, so the referee didn't see Dominic end up putting Priest's foot on the bottom rope. So Cody ended up getting out of the ring. He ended up chasing Dominic at ringside, but Balor ended up taking Cody out with a sling blade on the floor. So then later on, we had Balor. So later on, we had Cody end up going for a suicide dive on Priest. Priest caught Rhodes, ended up hitting the South of Heaven on the ring apron. Priest then cleared off the commentary table, and Priest started stopping when he saw Jey climb to the top rope. Jey ended up kicking Priest down, and then he ended up kicking Dominic away. We had Jey end up going for Uso splash on Balor, and Balor ended up getting his knees up. He ended up rolling Jey up, and Jey ended up kicking out. Dominic then started arguing with the ref about the call. Sami Zayn then ran down. Sami Zayn pulled Dominic off the apron. He started punching away at Dominic, and Sami Zayn ended up sending Dominic headfirst to the ring post, and then he ended up hitting Dominic into the ring steps. Priest then ended up sending Sami Zayn headfirst into the ring post. Cody then ended up sending Priest over the barricade and into the crowd. So at the end of the match, we had J Uso. He ended up going to the apron because he ended up hitting Damian Priest with the spear. So Jay ended up going to the apron, headed to the top rope, and then from out of nowhere, his brother, Jimmy Uso, super kicked him from out of nowhere. So Jimmy ended up running to the crowd. Balor headed to the top rope. He ended up hitting Jay with the coup de grace. So Balor ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Balor and Damian Priest end up winning the match. And they are the new Undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions. So post-match, Jimmy Uso looked very pleased with himself after delivering that super kick to his brother. And the Judgment Day celebrated their win on the ramp. We had Pyro end up going off. And once again, the Judgment Day has all the gold. So I'm like, what was the point on taking the tag team titles off of Priest and Balor just for them to put the titles back on them? Same thing goes for Dominic Mysterio. Why did they take the NXT North American Championship off of Dominic and give it to Trick Williams, only for Trick Williams to drop the title to Dominic, and Dominic, only for Trick Williams to lose, and the North American Championship goes back to Dominic. So those didn't make any sense on why WWE took the titles off of them first and then have them win the titles back. So once again, like I said, the Judgment Day has all the gold. But overall, it was a good main event. And it was a decent Monday Night Raw tonight. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. And there will be no Dynamite review on Wednesday. I'll be working late. So, no Dynamite review. But until next video, I'll see you all later.